cautious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello, good evening, good morning, whenever you are. This is the Rotherham United podcast, and this is the type of podcast we like doing when we've won. 2-0 win away at Bristol City, which completes the fourth double of the season after Sheffield Wednesday, Derby and Preston. And we're going to go through that with Mick, who's with us.
Hello.
And Benjamin is also with us. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
So I hope we're all doing okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the response, even if it was delayed. That was very much.
Bit of a slow start, this, isn't it? Bit of a slow start.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic.
Thank you for asking.
I think the place to start, Nick, is to look at what we do. Obviously, we all do our fan hub predictions at the start of the weekend. Mick was given at the big end at the start of the weekend, sitting pretty in third place. The results came. If you haven't got the fan hub app, do download it from the App Store, or iOS, whatever, Google Play, whatever. Mick, would you like to tell everybody how your weekend went on the fan hub leaderboard?
Well, interestingly, I seem to be still on the same. I think it's broke, essentially. Yeah. Because I'm still on the same score as I was before the weekend, and I got 8 out of 11 right on my team.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. But I mean, I've obviously slipped a little bit in the charts from third. But hey, I still remain ahead of my two colleagues here by some
that's not
considerable
fair.
distance.
I didn't click save.
Well, that's not my fault, is it?
It's very unfair. I didn't click save, and now I'm 26. I'm
20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
You
nearly
right,
all of
didn't
it right as well.
I think you might have been a little bit hasty there, Matt, trying to make me look an idiot when I'm still well ahead of you, both of you. So, can I say?
Yeah. And we'll stay there. Obviously, this international break now, if anybody's not aware, so no games until Good Friday, when we go away to Millwall. The time we'll cover that next week. So, Mick, 2-0 win away at Bristol City. Start with the first half. The first half for me was a very poor game of football. They had some chances. We didn't really have chances, but at the same time, I never felt in danger from them.
Did they have any chances?
Not that I know of. Well, they had the ball in that area of the pitch.
Yeah, that's as far as it goes, isn't it? They got it to our half a few times. I think we just did a job on them in first half, to be honest with you. I think we were strong, we were direct, we were aggressive, nasty at times. In fact, we managed to keep them under control. We sort of played the way everybody says that we play, apparently. So and we managed to nick a goal, obviously, on the stroke of half time, completely and utterly against the run of play. Fully undeserved, really.
Is that Mick or Nigel Pearson speaking?
Oh, sorry. I didn't actually watch the game, as you're aware. So I've had to catch up on a few post-match press conferences. I didn't manage to get to any of the Rotherham press conferences, so I just caught up on the Bristol City. I mean, Nigel Pearson's a really experienced manager, well respected in his field. So I thought I'll listen to him. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. He's been around the block a few times. So we were very lucky, I think. Have you seen that interview?
I've seen bits of it.
If he's the manager of my club, right, I'm definitely. If he were Paul Warne having that interview, I'm definitely in the worn out camp. Because I'll tell you what.
Why?
If he could have tried to make himself sound a little less interested in the job that he's employed to do, I don't think he'd have been able to. It was just there was a man who clearly did not give one single monkeys, not at all. Yeah. It was just, he just don't care, does it?
Not bothered,
Not interested, not bothered. Anyway,
that's why they're sitting mid-table, and Bristol City clearly can't. Well,
I say that my guess would be that's probably why he's been around block.
oh.
well, has he been successful here? Realistically, he kept Leicester up, but based on the fact they went to win the title the year after,
Yeah,
he should have kept
it's
them up.
hardly. I'm gonna say it's hard. Yeah, well done. He kept. Yeah, Premier League champions. Like Mahrez and whatever in your team.
Mahrez and Vardy and whatever.
Well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Well done.
And Kante, did they have Kante or did Kante come in the year after?
Kante left that year, but still, they had Schmeichel, Maguire. God.
No, it was before, wasn't it? It was before they won the title then.
Oh, well,
Yeah, before, but
Anyway,
either way,
yeah.
that
I
was a
think it's
pathetic
overrated, if I'm
interview.
honest.
That was a really pathetic interview, mate, honestly. And he was just trotting out the same lines, weren't he? It was like he was a Sky commentator.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, oh, God.
Interesting, we'll come on in a minute, but interestingly, he is only in contract till the end of the season. It was only a very short-term appointment. Could you see him staying on, really? From just listening to him in that isolated interview, do you think would you want him to stay on if you're a Bristol City fan?
He clearly doesn't want to stay on, does he?
Doesn't seem like it.
He has clearly got no interest in that job whatsoever. I mean, and just his demeanour during the interview, it was awful. It was horrible. Joke, man. You're a joke, Pearson. No, but he is, isn't he? He is.
He'll come and fight you.
Ah, well, whatever. Bring it on, fat boy. He's got to catch me first.
What I will say is, Ben, Bristol City can't be that bad week on week because we were comfortably the better team from my way I watched.
I don't know how bad. I don't know if it was. I don't know how much it was. They were bad and we were good. They did have that
Possible.
chance. It was the first half. I can't remember where Johansson saved it. No, it was second half.
Second half, yeah.
That's the only real chance they had, really, which was a good save.
Mm.
But that's how these teams play that do well. They just pounce. And if you can't score, like they have one opportunity and bank on scoring it. And they didn't. So, like, what do you do after that? Because, frankly, I didn't see any other way of playing. That they tried anyway.
Yeah. They were poor.
I agree.
They were really, really poor for me. Really poor.
That's twice this season, isn't it? We said same on live show about Preston, who were a mid-table team. We beat them twice. Derby, who are not a mid-table team, we played them twice and basically come to the best team against them. It's interesting. I find it very interesting playing these mid-table teams. And Ben's fidgeting again, as always.
Did you hear that?
So sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah. I find it really interesting playing teams like that in this league because that's where we want to be. We're aspiring to be Bristol City or Preston, mid-table nothingness. But then I watch them and I think, if that's what mid-table championship is, should we be aiming higher?
Well, we
'Cause
said
they've been garbage.
last time. If we had, I genuinely think this. If we had Alfie last time in championship, Alfie as we had him last time in championship, if that makes sense, we'd have gone up. Simple as that. We'd have gone up. Because I can't admit, I don't think we played 1 or 2 games where we should have lost. That was it. The rest we should have won. This league.
Very confident of you.
Look at how many games this season have you thought, wow? Apart from, not this season. It's hard because this season is not like any other season. But you know what I mean. Last time I can't think of any games.
There were 1 or 2 games. 1 or 2 games we took a pounding, weren't we? Lost 5-0, lost 5-1 to Brentford, Derby, and
West Brom.
Cardiff?
I think it was. No, West Brom.
West Brom. Yeah.
But
So there is a handful of games.
We didn't play bad against them. Same with Newcastle when they come and Atsu scored that banger. We didn't play bad. They were just quality.
Yeah.
So I think if we'd have had Alfie, we'd have gone up, or at least minimum playoffs. I think.
When you look at Barnsley this season, if you're looking at that Barnsley team, who is their best player?
I don't know any of the players.
I don't know.
Well, Mowatt is their central midfielder, as a midfield general, but he doesn't score much. I don't think he assists much. I just think he's a bit of a heartbeat of their player. DK from America scored a few. They're not really known. You don't have to have known players, and they're sitting pretty. What are they, 4 or 5 points clear of 7th in playoffs? You don't need to spend £3 million on a known player, do you?
No, and they're only in there because Wigan had that points deduction at the end of the season. Otherwise, they would have gone down. There is nothing. We've said it every time we've been in this division. There is below the top 2 or 3. There is nothing to choose between the rest of that division. It is genuinely just a bit of a goal scorer, just somebody who will give you, or a combination of 2 or 3 players that will give you 20 or 30 goals in a season. You know, if you've got 3 or 4 players that will come in and give you those goals, you're going to be laughing. The quality of this division in general is not much better than it is in League One. Realistically, it's not. And it's, you know, we talk about the fact that, yeah, all right, Bristol didn't have a good game yesterday, but is that every time we've won a game? Then is it that the other team just hadn't had a very good game? They've had an off day. Well, it's not, is it? It's clearly not, because these teams come along, and Pearson being the perfect example there. He's obviously had his team talk with his team. This is what you've got to expect from Rotherham United. It's going to be long balls, it's going to be set pieces, it's going to be in air all the time, it's going to be aggressive, and they didn't get any of that. They played more long balls than us. You know what I mean? They relied on free kicks and everything else far more than we did. Far more. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the thing is, obviously, if we add up our games in hand, right, and we win them all, and others will score away, we got 15th. That just sums up this league. We are not doing bad at the minute. Like,
and I'll say this again: if we had played the same amount of games as everybody else, we would. I would class that as still an okay position. 3 points off safety with what is it? What have got? Birmingham got about 10 games left, something like that.
Yeah.
That's not a bad position to be in, but we have that extra buffer of 4 games in hand, which actually makes it a pretty good position.
3 points off of 4 games in hand is unreal. That's when you're down there, the pressure on everybody else is unreal.
Yeah, it is. And people say there's a comment on one of the Facebook, on one of the YouTube videos that you know, the table doesn't lie. Well, I agree with that. The table doesn't lie ordinarily. But at the moment, I'm not saying the table's lying and we're in a false position. What I'm saying is the table's not telling the whole truth, is it?
No.
Because it
the table hasn't finished speaking. To use that, it hasn't finished speaking, has it?
Yeah, precisely. So yeah, I mean, we may well go on to lose all of these 4 games in hand. It's possible. I can't see it, but it is possible. But if we do, we'll still be only 3 points off safety.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It kind of riles me a little bit when opposition managers and everything else come out with this garbage about what we do, and it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't. I know we should just sit back and laugh because it is actually funny, and it does. What it does is it exposes these people for what they are, and that's amateurs. They're just not. You know, they're ex-footballers who've fallen into management, and occasionally some of them have a bit of success, but it's like, I tell you what it's like with Nigel Pearson and players and other managers like him. The Atletico Mince podcast, when they do the football manager club, what is it, English managers club or whatever it is,
British managers club,
destroy and exit, and that's what they do. You know, they'll come into a club, see how much money they can get, a la Nigel Pearson. How much you're going to give me to take this to end at season and make sure that you don't go down? Yeah. Finish 4th bottom or whatever, you know, and away we go. We're pocket full of money. You know, it's embarrassing really, but you know, it is what it is. We are very lucky to have who we've got in charge of our club.
Well, like you said, the contracts sum it up. The contracts tell the story of everything. Everything. The contract, the wage says everything you need to know about that manager. Everything. Even players. It says everything you need to know. Honestly.
I agree. Anyway, moving on to the game.
Oh, we played, didn't we? Yeah, sorry.
We played. We mentioned that Mick mentioned them, Ben, about how we don't long balls, which I don't think we did play too many long balls. This and other. We did score from 2 crosses.
It's not a long ball though, is it? I don't think.
No, I don't think it is. No, what?
Crossing's passing. Long balls not. Most long balls are.
So talk to me about the goals, Ben.
But what did you say? I was thinking about what I was going to say. What did you say?
I said that this is the idea that everybody gets, but we did score as goals from a set piece and across into the box. But I think second one's an own goal, but
1-2-0. Why does it matter how we score? I don't care. We could have put it under the shirt and ran it into net. I don't care how we score. 1-2-0. What does it matter? What does it matter? End of the season, no one's going to look back and go, "Oh, we scored a set piece. We scored." It's a goal, isn't it? It don't matter how you score. It could be a 40-yard wonder goal. You know what I mean? Sunday League scrap on goal line. It don't matter. But yeah, I mean, it's better for us because it builds this illusion of that's all we are, which is good because when push comes to shove, we aren't. So, and teams that get destroyed like Bristol, the more we think that, the merrier, to be honest.
I agree. The goal itself, the first goal particularly, are you giving a lot of credit to Smithy, or are you saying keeper's an absolute nightmare, or a bit of both?
It's horrible defending. It's horrible.
It's not very good, sir.
I don't care. We scored though. It's a great finish. Good from Smithy. But yeah, it's horrible defending. But like you say, what goals? There's very rarely a goal where it's not the defender's fault. Like, it's so easy to make a mistake when you're a defender that when you do make a mistake, it's a goal. So I think, but whatever, it was a goal. Good goal. Good run from Smithy. But
Really good run.
What the? If that's my defence.
Well, yeah, he's made an unchecked run, Mick, and then the keeper's come out to no man's land. It's just questionable all round.
How the hell has he made an unmarked run?
Precisely. I'm not blaming goalie for that goal.
Yeah.
His defenders have hung him out to dry there. They've absolutely hung him out to dry and given him no choice. The goalkeeper's got to come for that.
Ball's past 6-yard box. The keeper, defenders have left him. Yeah, defenders have stitched him up there big time.
Yeah, big time. I mean, it is a great run. He's taken 2 defenders out with his run, but it's inexcusable from the defenders to allow him that sort of space and allow him to make that run. All they had to do was step across him, because there is no way Donahue would have given a penalty. No way on this earth. All they had to do was step across the front of him, run stopped, gathered by goalkeeper, dead easy. So, it was shocking defending, but I'm really pleased it was. And it was a cracking little cross.
Yeah, well, he's done that before, Harding. When it against Derby, it was similar to that one where the ball's played in the box, and at first you're thinking he's overhit that, but it's just in that pocket where the defenders think he's overhit it, but it turns out he hasn't overhit it. I can't know if it were Derby or not.
It was Derby, yeah. At home, it was a free kick, wasn't it? That free kick into the box. I thought, whoa, where's that gone? Oh, that's where it's gone. Yeah.
Quickly, well, not quickly, but take as long as you want on this, Ben. But where's Harding? He is not far off, and if he isn't, I like you to tell me who is the signing of the season. He's been superb for the vast majority of the season.
I think he's signing of this season. He's been good. I don't think there's some obviously when players go forward with the ball, will have the ball at the feet. You just see Messi's got it. Messi's the perfect example. You just see it. He's got it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying he needs to be Messi, but he just looks not uncomfortable, but you know what I mean? He just doesn't look like he's got that flair in him, which is maybe a good thing for a defender. But he does that. All of Sundays somewhat got it because he can just go past 3 or 4 players at a time sometimes. Harden hasn't got that. I think if he can add that to his game, which he's good work on. Yeah, he could be a great defender. Obviously, he's good at defending. Sometimes, but
most of the time.
I'm going to put crosses like that in because crosses like that in this league, it's going to cause havoc. Premier League, whatever, it's not going to do all. In this league, you saw yesterday, it caused absolute havoc. So
if you could get Wes Harding and Matt Sunday and just merge them together as a player, it'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Because Wes Harding's got the crossing and the defensive ability, and Matt Sunday's got that attacking threat, as well as being pretty good at being defending. Together, they'd just be unreal.
Cafu.
Yeah. I know you're a fan as well, Mick, as Harding. I can't think of a better signing this season.
He's knocking on door a player at season for me. He's going to be challenging Smithy and. Well, I think he is.
What about
I think he is.
What about
No, you got to do it for more than 10 games.
I think Matt Olasunde. I mean, we'll do it at the end of the season, won't we? But I think Matt Olasunde makes what you said he was going to make, and that's most improved player of the season.
Yeah, easily.
I think he's been the surprise choice, if you like. But Wes Harding has just been immense for probably, I don't know how many games he's played, but 99% of the games that he's played, he's just been absolutely fantastic. What a buy, and how Birmingham must be ruined letting him go now. He's been great, absolutely fantastic. He's played where you want him to play: right back, left back, right wing back, left wing back, centre half, wherever you put him, and he will do the job, and he'll do the job as good as anybody else.
When we signed, and Birmingham fans were sort of saying, "Thank God he's gone," and how rubbish he is, and this, that, and other, right?
Yeah,
we'll take him.
Absolutely. So he was great again yesterday. He did drop off a couple of times, didn't he? He's had a couple of games where his distribution's just been, would have been great if we'd have been playing 14 feet in air. He's just oofed it, but now, other than that, he's been great. It's been an absolute bargain.
Yeah, whatever we paid is a bargain.
Weren't enough.
Yeah. Goal was for half time, Ben, and for me, that's the second best time of the game to score is on the 44th minute. The other best time is on 89th minute. It just kicks them right in gut, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a sucker punch. Obviously, we've been on the receiving end of a lot of them in the Championship. We know how it feels. I mean, it must be awful because it's like you can't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Because then the whistle goes and you can't do anything. So it must be such awful for the players, manager frustration. But yeah, that definitely helps. I think that helped us probably win. Yesterday, I said, obviously we said they didn't play well, but they are where they are for a reason. So I think that. Sorry, excuse me. Got indigestion. Sorry. But they are where they are for a reason. So I think if we didn't score that, then they could have come back into it.
Just finish what you're trying to say.
But they could
finish it.
They could have come back into it. They nearly did when what's his face scored. Him who in Woody's pocket all game nearly scored.
Naki Wells.
Yeah, him. Forgot his name. Didn't even realise we were playing until he had that shot.
Naki Wells just likes to live in the pockets of Rotherham United defenders. Whether it's Richard Wood or Craig Morgan or Gary Arneson, he just lives in the pocket.
Yeah. Craig Morgan, wow. When he went to Bradford.
You mean the £10 million Naki Wells?
That's the one.
Jesus.
Wow.
What am I worth? What are we worth if he's worth 10 million?
I must be at least 100 grand. At least 100 grand.
Yeah, 10 million quid. Yeah, wow.
To
be fair, 10 million quid and he can't stand on 2 feet for longer than 5 minutes, can he? You know what I mean?
But at the same time, he was their most dangerous player. I mean, that doesn't say much, but he was.
Well, garbage.
The second half continued a similar theme, Mick. There were no real outstanding moments. Victor's had to make two saves, one from Naki Wells and the second later on, which was then given offside because of the rebound. The goal in 74th minute, are you giving the goal to Richard Wood or is it an OG?
It's an own goal. It's clearly an own goal. Woody don't make any contact with it whatsoever and it hits their player on back. And goes in. Just one thing I would say on the build up to the goal. We got a free kick, which then led to the corner. I thought the work that Freddie did and I don't want to use the word earn that free kick because he didn't earn it. He was just fouled, blatantly fouled. He was doing really, really well. He was holding the ball up really well, and he almost got away from the two defenders that were around him. They doubled up on him. I thought he did really, really well there to get that free kick, which obviously led to the goal ultimately. So just a quick shout out for him really, because whilst he didn't score yesterday, I thought he played up until the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes before he got taken off. I thought he did a really good job, closing down right properly. Really, again, his positional play in the press was brilliant. But just prior to getting taken off, but substituted, it did seem to me to kind of revert back to type a little bit. He dropped really deep and didn't get involved in the press. I don't know whether he was tiring or what. I don't know. But nevertheless, I thought he had a really good game, that goal wouldn't have come had he not been for the work that he did down that left hand side to win the free kick. So
I think there's a good enough thought that we would have sat off as well. As soon as you go 2-0 up, you might as well just sit off. There's no point continuing at press when you're 2-0 up, is there, realistically?
Fair comment, yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely, and that's probably part of it as well. So, but in answer to your question, no, it's an own goal.
That's a shame.
Sorry, Woody.
Woody's still claiming it.
I don't blame him. Don't blame him.
The set pieces, Ben. Again, we're talking about Rotherham United. We obviously have to talk about set pieces as mandated by everybody. But the ball in from Barlaser from the corner for the goal was as good a corner as he can float them in sometimes, can't he? But when he puts them in like that, it just causes danger.
I think excuse me. I think the floating when he floats it. I think he probably sets it up for that. Like float for a few games, see if we get all. And then whip it in when they're off guard and look what it caused. I remember them. I can't remember if it was a corner or not. A free kick, he whips it in, and Icky. It was right before the goal, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Well.
And Icky, I don't know how the hell he saved it.
What a save that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a save. Well, he whips it in again. It weren't, one of the floaty. Like, they don't work. They just don't work. It must be to set it up because it worked twice yesterday, and we scored from one of them. And we got a corner that we scored from the other one. So
the floaty ones do work, and I think in cricket they do it. Spinners do it a lot. If you put a bit of float on it, a bit of loft on it, it then makes it much more difficult for the defenders to sort of work out where it's coming. Because is it going to drop now? Is it going to catch it in the air a little bit? So the floaty ones do work, but at the same time, I much prefer a whipped-in corner because that causes instant questioning. The defenders don't have time to think about it. And I agree 100% by that free kick before the goal was as good a cross as the corner itself, and it led to a corner, didn't it? Obviously, so it was really, really good. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. One thing I would say, I can't remember if it was a free kick or a corner, but he whip it in right, and it goes past everybody, and it comes out. So I think it's wing, right, and he thinks he's Paul Scholes. 10 years ago for some reason, 15 years ago, right? And the thing is, you laugh, but a little bit more luck on their side, they're 4-on-1. Why?
I sort of mentioned this to Mick last night on the live post match. There's a few. I think Lewis Wynn is a fantastic footballer, and we're very lucky to have him. Very, very lucky, as far as I'm concerned. But he has some issues where he does things like that. And then there was a moment, I think, after the goal at 2-0 where he had the ball in sort of just about 25 yards out from our goal, and he had space. He could have took a touch and looked up and played a long ball to Smithy, and instead he just whacked it and it went straight to Bristol City, and then it put us right in danger straight away. I agree, Ben. The moments
inexcusable. I don't know what the hell you're thinking. I just float it back in or do something that's just think about the team. Don't think about yourself, because that ball it's their player's head, for example. 3-on-1. Well, who knows what can happen from there? They go 2-1. I don't know what score at the time. I can't remember. But say they go 2-1, then we're under caution. Then it gets a bit scrappy, and you know what I mean. Things can happen. It's football. Just chill out, mate. Like, I think that's probably why he's not playing at Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
I think
possibly.
Because Warnock, that would not.
Warnock wouldn't stand for that, would he?
Yeah, exactly. That's maybe I guess why.
No. But it was superb yesterday. We're talking about midfield briefly, Mick. Midfield three of Crooks, Wing, and Barlaser, for me, was absolutely superb. All three of them had really, other than the issues with Wing, the other two of them were almost faultless. I thought they were excellent. Yeah, they were.
Crooks is back on form, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's absolutely back to where we wanted him to be. Dan Barlaser, likewise, he's Barley's has not quite reached his peak yet that he was at last year, but he's not a million miles off. And he's just coming into form right at the right time of season. It was excellent, that midfield. Really, really good. Really good. I can't say anything else about it, to be fair. They were just excellent.
Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, let's end it there. I thought of the 1 to 11, there weren't many players that had a bad game. If there were, I can't really think. Giles were quiet, but I don't think he had a bad game. I just think he was quiet. Victor Johansson, Ben, just got a man crush coming on Victor because I absolutely love him.
Wow. Well, I don't know how your wife feels like that, but
I don't care.
That beard might chafe a bit as well, mate.
But yeah, it was, like I said, that save against Naki Wells, it was a good save. I don't know what our contract situation on William is.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I hope it's a good one. I hope it's not a 2-year one or whatever, because I don't know, he's a young lad, I know that, but he looks like he could be something, a long-term goalkeeper. I can't remember the last time, obviously I'm young, I know we have had in the past, but I can't remember any long-term goalkeepers. Obviously I know we've had some, but like Warrington and stuff like that, but like 10, 15-year career goalkeepers. Do you know what I mean? Like Schmeichel at Leicester, that type of... I can't remember any. Obviously, I'm young. I don't know if we have any past Mick or not. But I think he can be that.
Warrington was the last long-term keeper.
I think he's good enough to be that guy. And I don't see why he wouldn't want to. You're loved by the club. Like, it's a stable job. Like, you're going to be here for 10, 15 years if you want to be, so why not? Do you know what I mean?
You look at him and he's one of them players that just wants to be. He looks like he just wants to be happy. He wants to be playing, and he wants to be part of something that he's happy with, and that's perfect. The Rotherham United, if that's the case, Rotherham United is the club for anybody who wants to do that. Really, realistically, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, definitely. He's not going to find it anywhere else at the moment. He's not going to find the culture. There are going to be very few clubs where he's going to find the culture that we've got at ours. Particularly when you start to go up the leagues. If you go down the leagues, maybe you will, but certainly going up, you're just not going to find it. You're not going to find it at all. So hopefully he stays around, and he is going to prove to be a very, very good keeper, and he has potential to go, like we've said before, go a long way.
Yeah.
So,
expanding on what Mick said about culture, he's another one. If one goes, he'll probably see the door as well, because the culture, you can't, unless he brings it, if say Warren goes out, unless he brings in, I don't know, Ronnie, like everyone's just gonna, like the culture's not gonna be there. Do you know what I mean? It's just not gonna be the same. There's nobody like Paul Warren. You know what? Like I can't remember who I was speaking to, a Wednesday fan, and they said they like Paul Warren. They said there's no one like him in football because there isn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. I seriously hope that we don't let go of him until it's time.
Whatever we're progressing, and we are progressing, I can't see a reason why that would change. But football's a fickle game, and things change very quickly. On Johansson, it's interesting that we're the first club he's played professional football for. It seems like this happens with a lot of keepers. I can't work out why. I understand why he played for Leicester because they're Kasper Schmeichel. I understand that. But why have other teams in the past not come in and took him out on loan, for example? It just baffles me. I don't understand.
Players find a place, don't they?
Yeah, true.
There's loads and loads done it at every level. Where they can't hit a bull's arse with a shovel, and then all of a sudden they find a club and they're Lionel Messi all of a sudden. Because they just fit. And that's just that appears to be how it is for a lot of players, and he seems to be a great fit for our club at the moment, without a doubt he does. And he's clearly, he just spent all game yesterday a massive grin on his face, didn't he? Just completely just laughing at everything. It were mad. I don't know what every time he picked ball up he just got a great big grin on his face. He's clearly enjoying his football, and we're enjoying having him around, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So 100%.
Yeah, Michael Smith's another one of them. I think he fits at the club we're in. He's scored more goals for us than he has for any other club. He's scored as many for us as almost the rest of his career combined, or not far off. His 100th career goal yesterday, Ben, Michael Smith, his 9th of the season. He's now surpassed his last time in the Championship, which is something we've been saying for a long time. If Smithy can add 5 more goals to his Championship life, then not only is it going to help us, but at the same time, if there's other clubs looking for Championship striker, go get in.
Yeah, but this is the thing that Mick was saying about players find the club and it just booms. Comes from hard work. I remember when Smithy signed, I think it was Warren, saying he was there the first one, then the last one leaving. That's why, because these players who aren't good enough, the ones who aren't good enough are the ones who always work the hardest. And that's why they find a club and it booms, because one person believes him. And you know what I mean? Look at Vardy. Vardy's a perfect example. Straight up, because he played for one club. Do you know what I mean? All they need one person believing him. That's why I think probably the same happened with Johansson. But going back to Smithy, yeah, he's, like I said, he's worked on his hard work. He has worked on his game, obviously. I don't see anything wrong with his game. I don't see why he's not at a top Championship club. If he wanted to be, it could be easily. I think if
one of the big differences.
I think if we go down, I don't think he's going to be with us. But
yeah, I agree.
Maybe, but this is the benefit of giving them players the chance. They will stick with you through thick and thin because you don't want to give them a chance, so they'll stick with you. Do you know what I mean? But I think if we go down and we stay down, I won't blame him.
No, I won't either. A big difference for me, not the big difference, one of the big differences. Last time in the Championship, as we keep mentioning, Smith missed a lot of chances. That season, he could have had 20 to 25 goals. The amount of chances he had, and I know he's only got 9 goals this season, but he doesn't really miss the chances that he used to. He's become much more clinical, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, and that I mean, it falls back to what we said before about. We've gone through long phases this season where we're just not creating stuff. And that's been the downfall for us this season. I don't necessarily think it's the defending, albeit obviously we could defend better because we don't want to be conceding so many goals. It's the chance creation issue that's been the problem. But yeah, with Smithy, I mean, I said it on live show yesterday. You know, I did think as when he were being substituted and camera panned in on him that there must be some Bury fans watching him walk off thinking, how the hell did that happen? You know, how did he get from our bench in League 2 or whatever, bottom of League 1 as it was at the time, I think, to playing in Championship and getting subbed off so we can rest him for the next game? You know what I mean? It's like, well, how did that happen?
Well, I mean, Bury didn't give him a chance. I can guarantee Bury won't give him a chance. And look what happened.
That's exactly what I was about to say, precisely. You know, he's got a manager who believes in him and who's giving him the tools to do the job. And look what happens.
Yeah, I agree. He's got 1 goal in 19 games, 19 league games for Bury. And against a similar, 2 goals in 14 games for Northampton, 7 goals in about a season for Portsmouth. He hasn't scored much. He's got 21 in just over 60 games for Swindon. And now he's got 32 in just over 120 games for us, 130 games. He's just found his place, I think, for me. And you can see the improvement from day one to now. You can see how he has improved.
Oh, massive.
You compare him to somebody like, and this is a bit harsh bringing it up, but Matt Palmer. When Matt Palmer came in, he looked really, really good. He never improved. He never looked better game on game. But Smith, you can almost see it game on game, his improvement. Yeah. And that's just a testament to him willing to work hard and just try and improve as a player and probably a person as well.
Just further that point that I said earlier, the ones who aren't good enough are always the ones who end up being the best because they work hard. Matt Palmer was a perfect example. He was good. He was playing every week at Burton and comes here and expects to play every week. Why should he think he has to work hard? Smithy, on the other hand, underdog all his life, gives 1 chance and what happened. So,
yeah, I agree. Just in the overall season now, we've come to a point where we're now, talked yesterday, Mick, with 15 points off 50 points, which is a good marker point. It might not keep you up, but it's a very, very good marker point. So what's that? 5 wins or 4 wins and a draw, and 3 draws. Sorry, which is perfectly doable, even though we don't draw games in this league. Do you know how many points we are off our total last time in the Championship?
1.
5.
Yeah.
We're 5 points off getting the entire total the last time in the Championship. But we've got 12 games left, something like that. Yeah. It's just such an improvement we've made in these 2 years, Mick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. We knew that this was going to happen. There's been an improvement season on season while Paul Warne's been in charge. And like Ben said in the past, how quickly do you want to improve? Do you want to improve from being a top of League One side to being straight away top of Championship side? Is that what you want? Because if that's what you want, the wheel is going to come off at some stage. You know, you can't go up that level, that sort of amount in terms of quality in one season, and not have some sort of repercussions, or not spend multi-millions of pounds.
Yeah.
And either way, whichever way you do it, you're going to have repercussions, because we ain't got multi-millions of pounds, so we're going to go into some serious debt, and we're never going to be able to pay it off because we ain't got a big enough club. Or you're going to do what Sheffield United did last season, you know, flirting with Europe for a bit, and now the lowest points in Premier League history. You know, so you've got to do these things incrementally, and that's what we're doing. Each season we're getting better and better. Each season there's a little bit of an improvement, and I hope, and I'm reasonably confident that at the end of this season we will stay up. We've got far too much. I'm not going to say that. That's not right. Because you've never got far too much to go down. You can always go down, but I think we've got enough quality to be able to comfortably stay in this division. And if we do, then next season we're going to be in a position to kick on. And that's all down to the work of Paul Warne and Richie Barker and Matt Amshaw, and Tony Stewart. And it just, I don't know. I don't understand why people can't see. I don't know. It's just this current culture of instant gratification, innit? I want it now, and if I don't get it, I'm going to throw my teddies out at cot. But we're improving all the time, so it's good. It's good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. So we've got 6 games coming up, which potentially could make or break our season. We have Millwall Good Friday, Wycombe Easter Monday, Huddersfield Town on the 10th. Then we have QPR in the midweek. Then Birmingham on the 17th. Coventry game, by the sounds of it, will fit in somewhere before the Birmingham game. So the chance of the Birmingham game will move to Sunday, which could mean the Huddersfield game gets moved as well, potentially. We mentioned already there, Ben, when effectively, in my eyes, we are 15 points off safety. We could get most of those points in those 6 games, couldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, these 6 games is where it's it. This is it, like, this is why you play. Like, if you love football, this is why you play football. Like, especially in lower league football, this is it, man. This is make or break. Like, if you don't love that, like, you've got to love that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a professional footballer, make or break, the heartbreak, the joys, whatever, you've got to love whatever comes out of it, because that's why you do it. But I think easily, how many points did you say you think we can get?
15 we need to get to 15 to get to 15 points to get to 50 points, which should keep us up.
6 games.
Well, they are our next 6 games. We've got 12 games overall, but they're our next 6 games. So
I didn't hear one of them teams where I don't think we can win. So honestly, I can't get 18 points.
Yeah,
I don't see why not. I'm not saying we will, but I don't see why not.
I think the reason we're going to struggle to get 6 wins out of them is just the time scales that we're involved with here. There's little, if no, rest between the games. So I mean,
but this is
all I'm going to say is that there's not going to be a lot of fitness work to be done for the team as a whole over this next month, over April, because that's all going to be done during game time. You know, it's all got to be about tactics and everything else, the work that they do, and hope that we can get through it. There's no way we're going to win 6 games on trot. No way on this earth.
No.
But it's doable. It's doable. There isn't, like Ben said, there isn't one of those teams there that we can't beat. There isn't one of them.
What I would say is this is where you play. This is where this is where your captains come through. This is where your culture comes through, and this is where that bond comes through of who's on that sideline. If it was Evans and people who's paid to be there, then why not? I'm sure. And the thing is, this is another thing. If it came to it, I know everyone on that team, everyone on that sideline would take a pay cut. Everyone. And that says so much about the culture. And this is where it shines through. This is where it comes through. When hard times like this is where he plays like Woody. You know, just that sideline, man, it's such a good sideline. Like, if you're a Rotherham fan, you know everyone on that sideline. Part physio, obviously. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how many people can say that about the club? And this is where it comes through. This is where it really pays off having this culture. Hard times like this. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
It's business end of season. I wish we were there. Business end of season. Easter is when things get serious. I think when things get really serious in a football season. You look at the Swansea game 2 years ago. Swansea and then Birmingham on a Monday. Those two results relegated us. Again, not mathematically, but they did relegate us. It could be a point this season where if we win 2 games at Easter, we could find ourselves in a really good position. Birmingham have got Swansea on Good Friday and then Brentford on the Tuesday after we play Easter Monday. That's going to be tough for them. Really, really tough. Derby are in absolute free fall. I don't think they've won in, I don't know how many games. There's a lot of games now they haven't won in. Coventry only picked up a point against Wickham. Even Wednesday won. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday won on Saturday, unbelievably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Championship. And you look at this weekend just gone. The 3 teams in the bottom all didn't lose, whereas the teams at the top of the Championship, Norwich didn't win and Swansea lost, and Watford were the only team to win out top 3. It's just a crazy league that we're in, and I hope we're in it again next year. I suppose that's all I'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to wrap that up, Ben. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, go.
Cool. It's cool.
We talked about it on the live show. Do you want to have 2 minutes on Matthew Donoghue? Or
you give a quick mention. Yeah, go for it.
Is it worth it, really? Giving him airtime? The 4th time he's refereed one of our games this season. And whilst he didn't manage to lose us any points this time, Swansea, handball on goal line, Nottingham Forest, the offside goal, and again on Saturday, he just showed his incompetence, the way he performed. It was dire for me, absolutely dire. And I guess I've got a bit of a downer on him because of the way that he's refereed in the past. But when I saw that we were refereeing game, my heart sank because I thought we're going to lose this game. He's going to lose us this game again, and he tried his best in that first half. They got a free kick on edge of box when Naki Wells just flung himself onto the floor. There was an incident in the halfway through the first half where Richard Wood gets elbowed in the face in the centre circle and goes down and stays down. So it's Richard Wood we're talking about here, right in front of the referee. Just nothing, gives him nothing at all, and they go off and create an opportunity, create a chance. Back end of the first half, one of their players literally trips over the ball. There's not a man anywhere close to him, and before he gets to the ground, one of our players gets near him, but he's already tripped over the ball, and he gives a free kick. And it's just, and that's a thing that runs through all the games that Matthew Donoghue referees. He's really, really, and it's just utterly incompetent, utterly incompetent. And I know that tag applies to probably just about everybody else that referees in Championship this season because they prove it week after week. But I find it so frustrating that they just ruin the game for the rest of us. They just ruin the game. You know what I mean? He's cost us points this season. He cost us at least a point against Swansea. It cost us at least a point against Forest.
I think that's just, you can't say it cost us a point. You can't say it cost us a point.
Did.
If we scored 4 goals, it wouldn't cost us a point. So why?
Well, we were denied a penalty in 80-something minute against Swansea, which you've got to assume there's a high percentage-wise, there's a high percentage chance we would have scored the penalty.
Yeah,
there's a high percentage chance it's cost us a point.
Why didn't we score properly then? We had a penalty.
Because their player saved it online.
Their player saved it online.
You can't, but you can't just
We're
say
going in.
I've changed my opinion on this. You can't say let's change that and this. Oh well, no one's going to care in 2 years, so why complain about it now? It's not going to do
because
anything.
I like it. Because I like it,
I'm not
alright?
saying that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about if the players think about that. They can't think about that, man.
Oh, I'm not a player.
Actually, won't.
And I enjoy calling him out for being incompetent. And I mean, in all seriousness, there's a lot of money at stake here, and I accept 100%. It's a very, very difficult job being a referee. I don't have an issue with that at all, and I fully accept also that they are going to make mistakes. However, there's mistakes and there's mistakes. You know what I mean? And you can't say you've seen one thing when something else has happened, and then you can't give one free kick and then not give one for exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's what these people are doing. So I hope we don't see him again this season. I suspect we will see him again this season. I just hope it don't cost us. That's all.
Yeah.
He should be back in League 1 or League 2. Anyway, don't like him.
I've noticed.
Peace out.
Yeah. We're going to finish there. So please subscribe to the channels if you haven't, YouTube and Spotify and iTunes. Please leave us a review on iTunes if you haven't already as well. Try and download the Fan Hub app as well. If you haven't downloaded that already, get involved on there. Something like 58 people have already downloaded on the Fan. So if we can sneak up to 100 before the international break ends, that'd be very, very cool. I said Mick's dropped like a stone in the last game, in the last round of fixtures.
Short term. It's just a short term blip.
We'll see.
I'd be top if it went for stupid save button.
I mean, you can only blame yourself for that.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, please do that if you can. I think that's all we've got for it. We're going to no episodes during the international break as planned. So if something pops up, we'll let you know, all know through the social media channels. But the chances are we will not be back until Thursday before the game on Friday, probably. Something like that
probably.
is more than likely on end. Like I said, we're going to use the time to try and speak to some players about the Auto Windscreen Shield, so that'll be out on the anniversary date on the 16th of April. We've got 3 players confirmed, one likely confirmed, and then trying to speak to some other ones if we can. But even if we only speak to 4 former players, that would be fantastic about that day. Mick will obviously be talking us through his memories of the day, ideally as well.
How have I got lumbered with that? I mean,
You're
I'm
with
not
that.
gonna get away, am I? I'm on the alive, were you?
I accept that. I accept that I was there, but you know as well as I do. I struggle to remember this afternoon, let alone 25 years ago. But I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I don't want to put a spoiler alert, but we did win.
We did win. Yeah, we did. I've heard that as well. Cool. So thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you, Mick, for remembering stuff. Thank you very much for remembering stuff. Happened yesterday. We're all proud that you remember that.
Yes.
And Ben, it's always a pleasure, mate, to have you back with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, so we're back on Thursday.
I mean, you're welcome. Not thank you. Not very arrogant. Not really.
Did you notice, Ben? I didn't notice a difference. Just felt like standard Ben, that. Anyway, we're back on Thursday before. We'll be back together, which will be a nice change. Hopefully the sound will improve for all listeners via the podcasts, because we'll be doing it properly rather than just through computers. And yeah, we'll see you all hopefully very, very soon. Cheers, guys.
Pringle looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it!